Get ready for a no BS approach to health and fitness. This is NBS Fitness Radio.
All right, and we're back with NBS Fitness Radio. I am here with Kim Rodgers. Kim has been a member at NBS since when?
Early 2016.
Okay, cool. So we're going on 5 years now.
Yes.
Maybe a little over 5 years because we moved
Yes.
in here in May. And you
Yes.
said you're at the original
the old
building.
gym.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. So let's kind of let's learn a little bit more about your fitness journey. Kind of talk to us about kind of things you've done fitness related throughout your life. What you did and when you were young in high school, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So give us your story.
I wasn't much of a sports player. I did cheer, pom for a couple of years here and there. Never played sports. But in ninth grade in gym class, I really got to experience what weightlifting was. We had like a semester of weightlifting in the football.
Where'd you go to high
locker room.
school?
Do what?
Where'd you go to high school?
Bolton.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very
So we had a semester in the weight room and I loved it. And I went home. I told my dad for Christmas, I want a bench set. And he's like, okay. So
That's awesome.
my bench was in the formal living room at the time. And I worked out. I didn't know what I was doing, but I moved some weight. So, but I did aerobics. Step aerobics was real big in the 90s.
Yeah.
I think that was mainly the main thing I did was step aerobics.
Okay, so
I loved it.
In ninth grade, they like took you into the weight room and y'all were doing like barbell work?
Yeah, like
y'all just squat
weights.
and bench or whatever?
No, we didn't do like Olympic type lifting,
Okay.
just with the machines.
Okay, so you did like the machine circuit.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
very cool.
yes.
Okay, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so did some step aerobics and started doing some weightlifting in high school.
Mm-hmm.
What about when you went to college or out of high school?
I just stayed in like local gyms, classes. I used to go to the women's fitness only in Germantown, the YMCA, not YMCA. I think it was the YMCA. It used to be in Germantown. It was women's only, so I was comfortable doing that. Yeah. So I just kind of did my own thing.
It was just kind of stuck with like the free weights and like classes, some of the aerobic classes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool. When were you kind of first introduced to more kind of like the barbell stuff?
When I came here.
Okay, so what attracted you to come to NBS on the front end?
I had some mutual friends that knew people that went here, and I was looking for a certain type of gym. You know, the local gyms, you just can't get that there.
Yeah.
And they're like, the trainers here are awesome. Go try it out. And I walked into the old gym and I was like, I was overwhelmed. I was like, this is nothing like I've ever done before. But I was like, I think this is where I'm going to get the look I want.
Yeah.
And I joined and I just kept coming and got over my fear and started training.
I remember back then we were kind of like more focused on kind of like figure competition type of look.
Yes. Now, originally that was my goal.
Like, how did you get kind of like introduced to that? Like, how did that kind of pop into your head? It's like, that's something I want to work on.
When Annie was here.
Okay.
Yes. I looked at her and said, I want to look like that.
Okay.
And she says, you can.
Yeah.
So I just kept at it, got with a trainer, changed my diet. Yeah. That is key.
Yeah.
That is key right there. Changed my diet and just stuck with it. I knew what my goal was and I just made it a part of my everyday life to come in here and get it done.
How often were you working out prior to that?
Not often. I would go to a local gym once or twice a week.
Okay.
I tried to do some CrossFit.
Okay.
Had a back injury and that just kind of.
So you were just doing like a couple days a week prior to coming into NBS.
Yes.
Okay. What had you ever worked with like a coach before any of that?
I had hired a little trainer at one of the local gyms here, and it just didn't compare to what was here.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, so then for a while we focused on kind of some of the physique stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of talk about once you were at NBS, like obviously then you get kind of exposed to some different types of training or different types of goals. Talk to us about kind of how your story since you've been at NBS and how that's kind of changed over the years.
Oh, wow. So much I could say. My diet. I really want to focus on that. And people need to understand that yogurt and granola and all those things that I was doing prior. And I know you've mentioned that before. Women think, "Oh, I'm eating yogurt and granola." It doesn't.
And then
It
Kashi
doesn't
cereal, I eat
work.
healthy.
No, it doesn't work. I tried it,
Yeah.
and I was not getting the results.
Why do you think that's attractive to women? Because I mean,
It's easy.
yeah,
It's easy. They market it to be healthy, and not that it's not healthy. It's
Right.
better than a candy bar or fast food.
yeah,
Not knocking that, but to get your body to where you want it to look and move and feel right, you have to eat your macros.
yeah. You got that.
It's so important. And people are like, "Oh, I don't eat carbs." Carbs are your friend. It's the type of carbs and how much you eat.
Yeah.
So, but that changed. That goal changed for me is my diet because
Okay.
I had hit 40 and I saw some pictures, and I never was a big person. But my metabolism changed too.
Yeah.
When I hit 40, I saw my 40th birthday party pictures. I'm like, oh my God, I got to do something.
I think,
So
it's one of those things that like you kind of discount when you're 20, when someone's like, hey, look, your
absolutely.
body's going to be different when you're 30 and 40. Like, yeah, whatever. I exercise,
Yeah.
I eat right, and mine won't be different. It's like, you can do all that.
Absolutely.
Your body's going to be different.
Absolutely.
Metabolism wise.
It happened.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
your body changes.
Absolutely.
and it changes every 10 years.
Exactly. But just being strong. I never was like, thought I was like a strong person.
Yeah.
But that was another goal. I just wanted to be strong. Being a nurse, you lift patients, you help them, you turn them.
Yeah.
It affects that aspect of my life too. And everybody comes to me, hey, go get muscles, help her move this patient over here. And it's funny, but it's true. I mean, you need strength, especially the older you get.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people, they quit moving, their body goes downhill fast.
Oh yeah, big time.
And it's hard, if at all, to recover from that.
I think, I think one of the good lessons from all that hopefully we do a good job of exposing people to, but I recognize that a lot of people don't get exposed to, is the idea of like comprehensive health and fitness.
Mm-hmm.
And not that you can't focus on a target area, but it's the idea that like, if you only focus on your training without doing anything diet wise, it's going to have negative impacts.
Mm-hmm.
If you only focus on your diet without having anything training wise, it's going to have negative impacts. If you only focus on physique and how you look and don't take into account your performance, because I kind of categorize things as like health, performance, and physique. That's kind of like the three areas of goals, the categories of goals. And it's probably unwise to only focus on one area without taking into consideration the impacts on the other areas. But a lot of times, I think especially for women, you get just kind of the physique thing just kind of gets drilled into you. It's like, I want to look a certain way. And you're like, okay, yes, and we can make that happen, but you also need to be able to perform a certain way.
Right. I agree. Like I said, when I first entered this and came here, I was all about, I want to look good. I want the figure.
Yeah.
5 years down the road now, where I'm at now, that's not as important. I just want to be healthy, keep my body moving.
Yeah.
And be as active as I can be outside of here.
Yeah.
And use what I learn in here to apply it to my life, my job, going out and walking or riding a bike and not hurting or knowing I can do it.
Yeah.
Just as simple as that. So it's not so much about how I look anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously you look great. And so there's like a zone of like, I want to look good. Like you like probably don't want to look what you would consider as ungood, right?
Right.
But you're like, I'm happy with this.
Yeah.
Now I want to make sure like I've got a holistic, like full body approach where I'm also taking into consideration my health and performance.
That's where I'm at now.
Very cool.
And I'm new to CrossFit. And I love it. It is a challenge.
Yeah.
You think you're in shape until you go over there. And I'm like, I'm not in shape. And my legs have always been my weaker area. And so I've shied away from really pushing. And I've trained with you on legs a lot. I'm with Brandon now. He's awesome.
Yeah.
He pushes me. And I'm just like, stay on me because I need that leg strength because I've got the upper body strength. And so I'm lacking in that area. So we're working on my legs. So
Yeah.
it'll catch up with my upper and I can just be
Yeah.
beast out there.
There you go. Okay. So talk a little bit about kind of pros, cons, and differences you've experienced training on your own, training in a group setting, and then training in personal training. Because I
Okay.
think that would be kind of cool for people to hear, like the pros, cons of each.
Okay. So I'll start with group, like classes I used to do, group classes. It's fun. You keep each other motivated.
Yeah.
CrossFit is a group class, but you're against yourself.
Right.
It's not like we cheer each other on, and it's fun. But I feel like it's more one-on-one with yourself.
Yeah. You're not competing
Yes.
against the people
No.
beside you, especially the way we do the level method.
I love that.
Yeah.
And that's what got me over there.
Right. Yeah.
So, training with a trainer, which I've done from day one here, pretty much. I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
I can still hear coaches I've trained with cueing me when I'm out there on my own doing something, you know, shoulders back, head up, so you learn how to proper technique, safe technique. And then on your own, same thing. I used to not want to go out there on my own because I didn't really know what I was doing until I trained with trainers, and I feel more confident.
Yeah.
You've written some programs for me, and I can go out there and feel like I'm hitting the right muscle movements and getting the most out of my workout. Whereas years ago, I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
I didn't have that structure.
Yeah.
Or that knowledge that y'all offer.
Yeah. I think what you're doing is probably, and I think it's probably the best kind of approach to it all, because I think there's pros and cons to each of those things. I think when you're working with a group, you get to you get some camaraderie.
Mm-hmm.
You get to do things together. I think people benefit from doing physical activity in community. There's just something about doing something hard together and getting that endorphin rush and experiencing it with other people and having people tell you high five and good job or keep going and pushing you. And you also get a bit of comparison, because there is a reality that, like, if all you ever do is train by yourself, you never get to see, you may think I'm doing really great. And then I am fit. And then you go and you do it and you're like, oh shit, I'm not fit. Or vice versa. You may be down on yourself and be like, I just don't think I'm very good at this. And then you go and you're like, no, I'm doing pretty good. Like, I'm kind of able to kind of hang with this. So I think there's benefits of that. I also think the benefits of doing the personal training is you get that one-on-one attention, and you get that like much higher level focus and a much higher level accountability, because you get accountability with the group class, but there is a reality that if you don't show up, and we will call you and say, hey, where have you been? There's just something about, like, I have to meet Brandon at 1:00.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like the 3 texts we get. Hey, this is Brandon. Looking forward to seeing you in an hour, or, Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, you got to meet that person.
And that's part of the journey here too, is making it a priority. This is my priority. Now, I don't have kids and outside of here or anything. It's just me. But my days off consist of getting up, getting ready to come to the gym.
Yeah.
It's my priority every day.
Is it? Yeah. Your fitness is a priority that helps you, like, to experience the life that you want to experience.
Absolutely. And that's where you have to start, is make this a priority in your life.
And I was just saying, if you're struggling with that, doing it on its solo is probably not going to help you.
No, you have to have
having someone to guide you through and keep you accountable is beneficial. And that's like I said, having the one-on-one coach, especially if it's like an area that you're struggling with, like you said, legs. It's like, I'm just not going to push myself, or I just am not aware of, like, the cueing or the programming that needs to happen to, like, improve my legs.
Absolutely.
And then I do think there's some benefits to doing some solo stuff, because there's it is your body that you need to, like, learn to build confidence in and explore, and you learn what it can do. And so that doesn't necessarily mean, like, always training by yourself, but maybe, like you said, but maybe like going and doing some type of fitness activity solo and seeing like, can I push myself mentally?
Mhm.
Can I hold myself accountable? Can I go explore this? And like, you get a lot more of a like self-reflective kind of zen
Mhm.
type thing when you're doing something yourself versus when you're necessarily working with other people.
Right.
And so I think like I said, there's a benefit to doing kind of all those. I think a lot of people kind of mess up and either like only do solo or only do uh one-on-one personal training and never like get it going, like do it with other people. I mean, if I was gonna say, hey, what should you, if you had to pick one, I would say one-on-one is always gonna be the best. But I do see the benefit of if you're only doing one-on-one, occasionally trying to go do something with other people,
And
you know?
that's where I'm at now. Now that I feel confident, having been with trainers for 4 or 5 years, and you wrote my program for me doing
Yeah.
solo, and I was like, okay, I want to push myself
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
I think I've got this right here.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm out doing CrossFit, because I'm
Yeah.
like, I need something new, fresh, and push me even harder.
Yeah.
So
How'd you kind of come over? Because I'm sure there's a fear a little bit with regards to like you previously did CrossFit, returning to it, after having a back injury.
Mhm.
How'd you overcome that fear?
um well, talking with you
Yeah.
and this new level method to bring that up, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
I do think it's fair to say you didn't hurt your back here doing
I did
CrossFit.
not. No,
You
no,
did
I
it
did not.
another place.
I did
Yeah.
not. I was pushing myself, not knowing that I didn't know where I was.
Yeah.
Like, let me try this, and
Right. You got thrown into the mix without like being
absolutely.
instructed the level that you needed to train at.
And I don't know that I would have gone over to CrossFit had you not introduced me to the level method.
Yeah.
I, maybe you can explain it better, but it grabbed my attention. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I can see where I'm at in every different aspect,
Yeah.
and then I can start there and see myself
Yeah. Yeah. What do you like about the
build
level
up.
method? Like, what,
It showed me where exactly I was.
yeah.
I had no idea. I know I can lift a weight or, curl or bench
Yeah.
press, but to know exactly,
Yeah.
and then it's just so structured. It's just
Yeah.
so detailed and structured, and to see exactly where you're at, and just to give you like a color. Okay,
Yeah.
you're yellow too.
Yeah.
You can see where you can go, see where you've come from.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's for people who aren't aware, the level method is it's a system of assessment that kind of assesses your fitness level across different capacities and skills. So it's going to test strength, power, speed, mobility, flexibility, endurance, all these things, and different skills of squatting, deadlifting, pressing, all that. And it gives you good assessments. It's like, okay, this is where your current level is in each of these different skill sets and capacities. In order to improve, this is the path you need to take.
right.
And then it matches your current level with the programming that you do so that you're not going into a group class and doing the same program as someone who may be well ahead of you, or the same program as someone who may be well behind you. You're doing individual programming training based off of your skill set within a group setting. So
Right. And that's where I say you're in a group, but you're one-on-one with yourself. You're in
Right.
competition with yourself.
right.
And I like that.
Yeah, 100%. So you're a nurse.
Yes.
How long have you been a nurse?
12 years.
All right, very cool. And where within the nursing field have you worked? Like which different departments? Or
Mainly med
units?
surge.
Okay.
I did some oncology.
Okay.
And then now I'm on a cardiac step down unit.
Okay. Okay.
Been there about a year.
Very cool. So I'm always I always like to talk to people within the healthcare industry who are also healthy and fit. I would like to say that that's the case for the majority, but it's not.
No.
You ever walk into most doctors' offices or most hospitals, the people that you're engaging with don't look any different than the patients, right? So, yeah, how does that kind of like? How has being in the health field and seeing the impact of people's lack of health like impacted you in your
Wow.
own pursuit of fitness?
It has opened my eyes.
Yeah.
We all have, genetic predispositions in life, and we can't help and overcome
Yeah.
it sometimes. So That aside, I see diet, lack of exercise is probably the two key factors, especially in heart
So your
issues.
cardiac step down, which is, explain what that is to people who don't know.
We do a lot of post cardiac cath interventions where they get stents. We do we get post TAVRs, which is the aortic valve replacement through the groin.
Yep.
We get people that go into arrhythmas. They have to be on drips. So we take care of those. That's kind of the main.
Yeah. It's people who are having issues with their heart.
Yes.
Cardiovascular or heart disease issues with their heart, who are going in and having some type of intervention surgery done. Once they leave that unit where the surgery was done, they come down to y'all to kind of take
overnight,
to take care of them. So you're seeing people who are having heart issues. How many of them are? I mean, how many of the people that you're seeing on a regular basis are there due to lifestyle choices, primarily?
I would say probably 70 to 80%.
Yeah.
Just off the top of my head.
Yeah. Preventable heart issues.
Diet and lack of exercise.
Yeah.
Stress.
Yeah.
Stress is a big one. I talk to my patients. They're not on vents. They're able to talk like you and I. And, I try to listen to them and help them and talk to them and figure out where they've been, what got them there.
Yeah.
How long it took for them to get there.
Yeah.
And then I talk to them about leaving when they leave, medicines are great. I give medicines. I believe in medicines. It's important to take them.
Yeah.
But also you can make some lifestyle changes to maybe come off of some of those or all of them. Diabetes is another big thing.
Obesity, diabetes,
yes,
heart
absolutely.
disease,
It's all together.
How many, I can't remember the exact numbers, but every study I've seen, it shows that like even when faced with the reality of death, hey, if you didn't live in modern times and we hadn't figured this out, you'd be dead.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So congratulations on a second life. But how many of those people like tend to then implement new lifestyle choices versus continue to do what got them there in the first place?
I don't see a lot of return patients.
Okay.
Every once in a while, I will. They're just so chronically ill.
Yeah.
It's kind of toward the end of
their
issue.
Yeah.
But patients ask me, "How do you stay so thin? You walk around here all the time." I'm like, "No, my body's accustomed to walking around." And they ask me what I do. A lot of patients ask me, "How do you stay so thin? What do you do? What do you eat?" And I tell them. And I'm like, just walk.
Yeah.
You just go outside and walk.
Yeah.
Just move. Keep your body moving. It's so important. So important. And I give them diet information when they discharge home.
Yeah.
Here's what to eat. Here's what not to eat.
Yeah.
Don't mean you can't have like a little cheat here and there. I mean, I do.
Yeah.
But it's a lifestyle change.
Were you in the class the other day when we were looking at that diet?
No.
Okay,
I don't think so.
I won't say what hospital it was from, but it was
gosh.
I want to say it was a maybe lap band surgery diet. I can't remember, but it was like it was pretty bad. But the thing that stuck out the most was it was a cup of ice cream every night.
Oh, really?
Was the assigned diet? I was like, wait a minute. Like you're assigning
the Halo Top ice cream, right?
I think it was just straight
the real
up.
Deal.
Yeah, the good stuff, the cream ice cream. Yeah, I was like, we were just kind of blown away. It was like this, like a hospital is giving out. The rest of it's pretty bad too. It was like, it was really weird. It was like each meal would have only one macro in it. Like you would have like a meal that was like green beans and beets. And then the next meal might be was hot dogs. It was nothing.
I've got to see this, David.
Ask Angie because she's got it. But yeah, it was just like really weird. But then I was like, this thing's got hot dogs and ice cream in it.
I like it.
Yeah, well, of course. And I'm sure it was like somewhat of a, hey, you're already eating like really bad. We're not going to like bounce you from eating terrible to chicken breast, rice, and broccoli every meal. So let's if you're currently eating, let's give you some amount of sweets just to tide you over, but still,
that's interesting.
It was an interesting
diet.
diet.
I got to see that.
What do you think the healthcare industry needs improvement with regards to actually helping people get healthy and fit? Because any changes we have made thus far have not impacted the trend. The trend is continuing to go in the wrong direction. More people are continuing to be overweight, obese, unhealthy. Diabetes is going up. All these issues are continuing. That's putting a tremendous strain on the healthcare industry and a tremendous strain on the pocketbooks of Americans. We implement changes and then none of them have an impact, right? So, what do you see being in it as a way to actually, or where's kind of the deficit? Where's the issues coming from? I mean, this last year, one of my biggest pet peeves is this last year where we had a disease that was that shined a spotlight on health issues. It's hey man, this thing is pretty not a big deal for you if you're relatively healthy. I mean, you had it and it sucked.
Yes.
But you recovered from it and feel fine, right? But it was your chances of dying for this go up per issue that you have. Obesity, chances go up.
Right.
Diabetes, chances go up.
Right.
Heart disease, chances go up. And the entire message the whole year was not, hey guys, hey, man, we learned that taking care of your body and trying to be maintain your health and fitness is super important. Here's all the ways you can do that. And on top of that, you should wear a mask, protect your neighbor, get vaccinated, It was just straight up wear a mask, get vaccinated, and lose 50 pounds and start exercising and be healthy. So
because that's not easy.
It's easier than death. Well, maybe not.
Well,
maybe not.
People think of the here and now.
Yeah.
And my philosophy on it is it's not easy. And I know it's not easy. Yeah. It wasn't easy for me. I had to make it a goal and just keep at it.
Yeah.
And there's so much fast food. And I mean, I just go to the grocery store and I get my basic macros.
Yeah.
And I just look around at all the junk
and
how expensive the junk is. And I'll grab some here and there, but it's just easy. The whole grocery store is just.
It's
easy.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
So this is the healthcare industry just says, well, people are soft and can't, and won't be able to do this anyway. So let's just ignore it and say, and not address it and just say, well, let's just fix hearts, give meds, and cut feet off when they, stop getting blood flow.
Yeah, it appears that way. But I mean, they do try.
Yeah.
There's a lot of post-discharge education given.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rehabs at the cardiologist offices that they offer patients.
Yeah.
A lot of patients go to rehab.
Yeah.
So
they're going to that cardiac rehab.
Yes. And after all these procedures, as soon as they can get up and moving, we're getting them up and walking them.
Is it cardiac rehab? Then do they have the neck, the step down from that? Obviously you're going to get cleared by cardiac rehab, but they then hey, now we're going to set you up with this gym or this trainer or this.
No, they go actually there's a rehab at the office.
Well, I'm saying, but once they
go to classes and it's not at a gym.
Continually though, like forever, or is I understand the step down rehab. I'm saying once they get to that bottom rehab where they're doing the exercise at the office, at some point
I think they I don't know how often they go, but I would think over time they just go, or they may give them information from there to go and take home and do.
Okay.
But I tell all my patients it's just so important to move.
Yeah.
Just move. Just walk. You don't want to go to a gym, don't go to a gym. Just walk. Just stay moving.
Or do something. Yeah.
Yes. Don't just lay there or sit there all day.
Yeah. The way I try to describe it is you need to do something that pushes the boundaries of your current physical abilities.
Absolutely.
And if walking is pushing the boundaries of your current physical abilities, then you need to walk.
Absolutely.
And then once walking isn't, then you need to run. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like a lot of my patients are older.
Yeah.
So, well, I just sit in a chair all day. Well, walk around the house.
Yeah.
Just walk around the house. Once an hour, get up and walk around the house. It's as
Right.
easy as that.
Yeah.
So,
Don't just sit down all day.
because that's easy.
Yeah.
I would love to do that.
Yeah.
But I make myself get up and get in here because I know what I put in, I'm going to get out.
Yeah.
Tenfold.
Rachel is also in the she's a nurse practitioner, but she said, you got to choose your hard, like exercise hard.
Mm-hmm.
So you can either go do that, but so
Yeah.
is going to the doctor and having, heart valve replacement.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You can choose whichever hard you want to do.
Absolutely. That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah.
And, people tell me, oh, gyms are expensive. Well, so is eating. Eating bad. And, all the bad habits you spend your money on. I choose to put my money on things that I can get positive.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It's gyms are definitely not expensive. In fact, I'd say gyms are significantly underpriced to the point where it's actually detrimental to people.
I agree. But, people just have in their mind, oh, that costs, there are some that are,
Yeah, I'm not talking about people that are in poverty, whatnot, obviously. But yeah, it's more just, it's from the outside, it seems expensive if it's not an investment that you actually care about.
Right.
Like big giant ass TVs and all the channels is expensive.
Right.
It's that's hundreds of dollars a month.
Right.
So
I choose not to have that. I choose to have my gym.
Right. It's like if your priority is sitting on your butt watching TV all day, then
a gym's going to look expensive because you put your money.
Yeah, because your priority is watching Netflix.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree.
Where are you kind of most proud of accomplishing over the last couple of years?
Oh, just staying consistent.
Yeah.
I know that's so basic and cliche, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
Just staying consistent, sticking with it, staying with it. I've had some ups and downs the last couple of years of my life, and I've pulled through it. This has been my consistent through that.
Yep.
And I feel like it's gotten me through all that.
Yeah.
So
I think that's a great one.
I can't say anymore. Just the consistency of it. Just making it a priority and knowing I'm doing good for myself.
Yeah.
The best I can, the most I can, and I want to stay as healthy as long as possible.
What would you say to a peer who is in your age range but hasn't is struggling with health and fitness right now? Maybe they haven't been able to be consistent. Maybe they're not happy with the way they look, or their back hurts, or their hips hurt, or whatever. They're having negative emotions with regards to like health and fitness, and they're just struggling. What would be your advice to them?
Just find a gym. Wherever you are, find a gym, get in there, just get on the treadmill, start walking, get comfortable. If you don't like the gym, just get on a treadmill and move.
Yeah.
Get somewhere where there's a trainer. Train with them once a week. Just try.
Just take some action.
I didn't know that I had this in me.
Yeah.
And I have it.
Yeah.
It's there. You just got to go after it and get it.
I love that. Very cool.
Yep.
That's a great way to end it on. It's in you. You just got to go out there
Absolutely.
and get it. Very cool.
Yep.
All right, Kim. Well, thank you for being on
David.
NBS Fitness Radio.
All right,
y'all. NBS Fitness Radio out.
Thank you for listening to NBS Fitness Radio. If you enjoyed the podcast, be sure to share it with your friends, follow us on social media, and check out our website at www.nbsfitness.net. Hit the subscribe button and tune in next time for more NBS Fitness Radio.